I just wanted to come up here and say some things, just address some things before we go into 2026. And some of y'all may not like what I have to say, some of y'all may not like it, or, may not understand it all the way. But one of the first things I wanted to get out of the way was the 1350 debate. Just to put that out there, that is some bullshit. Okay? That is some bullshit. But we're going to go through the math because now when they say 13% or versus 55%, what they say is that black people are somehow, the problem when it comes to murder and those statistics. Well, I have here the 2024 release statistics, right? I'm not good at editing, so hold on. These are the statistics. I'll link it down below. But it basically says the breakdown shows on an average a murder occurred every 31.1 minutes and a rape occurred every 4.1 minutes. Now, what does that mean? That means that 2 murders an hour and 7 rapes every 30 minutes. Okay? That's 14 rapes an hour, 2 murders an hour. Now, if you take that and you turn it into the calculator, right here, it says 8,760 hours a year, right? That comes out to 17,520 murders last year. Then you take the percentage, right? And then you say, hey, what you multiply the percentage by the total of the number, right? So you take that and you multiply that by 55%, and that comes out to 9,636, right? Now that would come out to 55%. 9,636, right? So that would be the number of quote unquote black people that are committing crimes at this rate, which doesn't make any sense, because if that was the case, then we wouldn't have a conviction record. But here in the United States, we have a conviction record. That conviction record changes how everything is. Now, our conviction record here in the United States is 10%. Okay? So we take that total, that 9,636, and we multiply it again by 10%. And it comes out to, I don't know if y'all can see that without it being flipped, but that says 963.6. 963.6, and you're saying that we're the criminals? So you mean to tell me that for every 1 or 10 black people, only one of them is going to jail, and we average less than 1,000 prisoners a year? Less than 1,000. But murder rates are supposedly our fault. You could get this number from literally anywhere. Literally anywhere. Anywhere. You can get this number from anywhere. And it's so baffling to me that these large-scale corporations did not even think to do that. Like, at all. They didn't think to do any of this, like, at all. And it's like, I realize why. Because it doesn't sound salacious enough to push onto black people. And it's just like, y'all really just push this narrative just to create hatred for black people. Even if we were 100% of the murder rate, 17,000 people a year is not worth the rights of hundreds of millions of people. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay? That's something I don't want to hear in 2026 anymore. Like, that's something we should not be talking about in 2026. From now on, when you hear a percentage, ask for the total. Because when they keep spewing these percentages at you, it makes it sound like the total is high, and it's not. Because when you hear the numbers, it changes the opinion of the numbers in your mind. Because if you say, oh, murder is so bad, because your experiences, they line up with the propaganda, but not the facts. The facts would change how you see that situation. Yes, murder is bad, but it's not as bad as it could be, because we could be averaging, I don't think y'all understand, 17,000 a year is not bad. That's like 200 a month over 50 states, where most states have cities that have millions of people in it. That means that we're dying less fast, way slower than they think we're dying. They want you to think we're dying. That doesn't make any sense for them to be creating all of this panic. So that's one thing I'm tired of hearing. Okay. Another thing I'm tired of hearing in 2026 is this attack on black masculinity. That's not happening. That's not happening. Y'all think that's happening because you're seeing LGBTQ visibility and you're making it like it's a you problem. It's an every black man problem, and it's not an every black man problem. The world quite literally needs you to be masculine in order to frame you as the villain. And then they need to frame you as the bad boy so that you can be sexually attractive to them. So why would they destroy your masculinity if they need that? I mean, in multiple ways. They need that, clearly. They need that. But why would they destroy your masculinity for that? That doesn't make any sense. So, understanding that that doesn't make any sense, you need to stop saying that. And then you're listening to people who use that talking point to blame LGBTQ people for your issues when your issues are quite literally your fault. And that's going to lead me into the next one. Why y'all haven't done pretty much anything positive and have done so much negative. And it's really because the elders ain't shit. Like, the elders were really afraid of everything. They were afraid of everything. They were afraid of how white people would react if we chose to be ourselves. They were afraid of how white people would get upset at us for being, unapologetic about who we are. And instead of understanding that that is powerful, that could lead us places, y'all let these elders, black men, y'all let the elders, the boomers, and the Gen X, you know what I mean? If you're a millennial, y'all let them walk us into this situation. It wasn't until Gen Z got up here and started speaking the way we're speaking now that everybody wants to just come around and be like, hey, this is how we should be going about it. This is what we need to do. And then y'all just like, okay, well, we're just going to jump on the bandwagon as if y'all wasn't in the way. I just don't want y'all to go into 2026 thinking that y'all just were the best thing walking, and you weren't. I'm looking down at notes, by the way, because I did need some notes. And I don't want y'all to go into 2026 thinking that there is nothing to do, because there's a bunch of things to do. One of the ideas that came to me while I was a kid was that y'all hate Pookie and Ray Ray for no reason. For no reason. Pookie and Ray Ray are, and I don't like that term either, Pookie and Ray Ray. We need to find something else to say that for. But Pookie and Ray Ray are, they're this symbol of masculinity in this community. They just are. And they are because they're not the rest of you. The rest of y'all are just brainless. I'm sorry, but it's true. Pookie and Ray Ray are smarter than you. They really are. Most of them, they're counting their money. They're keeping their businesses intact. Yes, they're doing criminal things, but yes, even though it's illegal, first of all, drugs are illegal because they can't control them. It's not even about it. It's not about the effects because white people use them. It's not about that. There was drugs in the White House. They don't care about that. What they care about is the fact that you're making money. That's all they care about. They care that you can use that to make money to get out of the hood. and they can't control that source of money. So they made it illegal, and now because it's illegal, they attacking people for it. But there's literally white crackheads. They should be going to jail. There's white crackheads all over the white community, and they never go to jail. All they get is a rehab. They never go to jail. Same thing with the Hispanics. They be, listen, if you knew what the fuck is going on with them and how they be moving, we'd be having a complete different conversation. But I don't want y'all to think that there's just nothing for black people to do. There's a whole bunch of things for black people to do. Y'all could lean into, not away from, but into the hood dude aesthetic. Lean into it, not away from it. Because when I say lean into it, I'm not talking about the lifestyle, not the streets. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you employed those people and then said, well, I'm going to put this in a black way for everybody to understand. They only care about chasing the bag. So what we need to do is turn peace into a track field and let them chase the fucking bag. They believe that they chasing money, but we getting peace and security out of it. The elders tried to do this in the early 2000s, but the problem with their choice was the word police. They tried to make a police force, and the problem was the word police, because the history of that word and what that organization has done to our people. So we knew, like, when we heard that word, it was like, nah, nope. And then on top of that, you wanted us to wear uniforms. You wanted us to get on fucking, this white politics respectability thing that y'all had going on. And that's why those spaces fell apart. Because you wanted us to be respectful in a space where black people are supposed to rule, but then we're serving white supremacy or serving white images of what black people should be in our space, and that can't happen. So when I say lean into Pookie and Ray Ray, I mean lean into them. They're not white. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Not being white is a good thing because we're not white people. That's a good thing. So if we're not quiet like the whites, that's a good thing. You know why? Because the whites, they never have cookouts. Their neighborhoods are quiet and boring because they never do anything. And then they have no freedom with their homes and land because the HOAs control everything in their vicinity. If they do anything so far outside the lines of that HOA organization, they losing their house. We don't have to deal with that. That's a good thing. The property in our neighborhoods is low value. That's a good thing. You know why? Because that means if they were high value, then we wouldn't be there. We wouldn't be there. Do you know how long $1 million lasts in low income neighborhoods? About 90 years. 1 million. 90 years. That is generational wealth. And I'm talking about rent, electric, cable, and phone bill, as well as food. All of those bills. For like 90 years, depending on how much you eat as a family. $1 million. If you sold a book for $10 and 100,000 people bought it, that's $1 million. The problem is you want shit. That's the problem. You want stuff because they make you want shit. They make you want stuff. They make you want to travel. Hey, you want to go see this thing? Hey, you want to go see that thing? Da da. If you can make $1 million and put that on the back burner for your bills, every other bit of money that you make could be sent towards whatever you need. Like quite literally just that. You make $1 million, put it on the back burner, live small, and travel. That's it. But y'all don't want to live small. Y'all want to live big. Y'all want to live drastic. Y'all want to live fancy because you're not used to having those things or being having access to those things. And quite literally, what we're fighting for is to be able to have those things without having to struggle most of our lives to have that. And our elders forsook us like that. Because when Obama was president, we had 8 years of complete freedom. And we did not use that in the way that we think that we should have used it. But it did empower us. It inspired us. Because we felt like the system was actually like, there was still hope. And I want to say to my people that we could do something. Like I have a bunch of business ideas, right? Like we could start a nonprofit because all of the police departments in this country are listed as nonprofits. That means that they have the ability to make their own policies and then they enforce it as if that's how they operate. So basically, if you don't read the policies of the police departments, you'll never know how they operate. Because you'll just be like, oh, they're just bullying us, they're just attacking us. But they told you ahead of time because they have to post it online. They have to let you know what their policies are. So when they say, oh, you can't congregate, oh, you can't dress like this, you can't dress like that, that is racism. And that is racial discrimination. Being that that's racial discrimination, you could hit that ass with a class action and call it a day. But y'all don't read that shit because nobody cares about the police. Nobody cares about the police. Nobody wants to watch them every day. Nobody wants to care about what they're doing. We got all of these channels, these news channels talking about celebrity tea. No, y'all need to be reporting on your neighborhood new fucking people. Them fucking people. Because honestly, like, having a nonprofit be able to enforce those kind of rules is like having the Red Cross, because they're in the same vein. That's like having Red Cross be like, yo, when we stop you, you got to donate. You got to give us the clothes off your back. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, and it should be crazy to you. But we could start a nonprofit and then hire the gangs. Hire them. Everybody's saying that they're a problem, that they're the issue. The elders' issue was that they were afraid of leaning into the youth because of criminality. They're like, oh, they're criminals. They're bad people. That's the same shit white people say about us all the time. And now, in this current era, we just found out this year that every single one of them were tap dancing. Because the church is tap dancing. Because our politicians were tap dancing this whole time. We just found out that every single one of them was tap dancing with this Charlie Kirk situation. We found out who that was. You understand? So, what we should do is stop listening to that. Stop listening to that. Pookie and Ray Ray are not some generalized idea. They're all different people with a minor similarly worldview. They see the world a certain way that y'all just don't understand, and you need to practice empathy with them. Because we're the only group of people that would dare to walk around them. That would dare to walk past them. And as bad as their behaviors are, it's really just directed at each other. They're not really bothering us like that. So we the only ones who could create a business and go over there and hire them. And hire them to do what? Hire them to stand around. Yes. Somebody like Poetic Flacco and these dumbass immigrants, I don't want to sound racist, but you know what I mean? Those people, they'll be like, what? Hire them to do what? Stand around all day? Yes. Hire them to stand there. Stand there and do what? Make sure everybody all right. They know everybody. They know the neighborhood. Hire them to stand around in that neighborhood and protect the people. That's it. That's it. You know why that would work? Because if you're hiring the people that are causing the problem to make money doing not that, they're going to jump on that every time. They're going to jump on that every time. So if you hiring them to create peace and clean up the neighborhoods and make sure nobody dying in the street, you hire them and you pay them a livable wage, because that's important. You have to pay them a livable wage. That's important. If you hire them, if we started a nonprofit under the guise of cleaning up our neighborhood, right? Cleaning it up or promoting peace in the neighborhood, and then hired the people causing the problem, right? We had them standing around. This your territory, this your territory, this your territory. Stay there. And just make sure everybody good. Help the old ladies across the street. Help the women with the bags. Just stand there, get their guns registered. They have illegal guns. That's a problem, right? Illegal guns, ghost guns. Get their guns registered. Officially. Get them to bring their guns in. Register the guns. Give them back. Give them back. There are black-owned fucking gun shops out here. There are people who own stuff like that. Work with them to supply these niggas some guns. They want to stand around with their guns all day. Cool. Once there's peace in the neighborhood, these white people, all of these non-black people, white people included, they're going to start depreciating the value of the neighborhood. That means that they're going to be bought, that they can be bought for cheap. Black people in real estate could swoop in and buy it. Because nobody wants to live in our fucking neighborhoods. That's a good thing. Get out. Nobody's going to want to live in our neighborhoods with black people standing on a fucking corner. Black people with guns all over the place. They're going to be scared. They're going to create that narrative. And then once that shit goes down, black real estate could swoop in, clean up all the properties, and we make money on our own. We control entertainment. That means that gives us freedom. We can do that anywhere. We control entertainment. We control the culture. We control how people maneuver. So what we can do is we can just make it cool. Make it cool. Go over there, start a nonprofit. Start a nonprofit agency. Right? The only problem now is that we have an issue with the funding. That's the only problem. And that could be solved next year with the Democratic majority. Because they won't see an issue with us creating a peacekeeping force. The police are an issue. So those boys being out there, you can have them push the police right out. There's no longer a need for you to be in my fucking neighborhood. Get out. Get out. There's no longer a need for you here. We have our own agency protecting us. We don't need you. Bye. Push them out. Create our own agency and push them niggas right the fuck out of here. This is not hard. Once they gone and the property goes down because the racist ass banks don't like us, black banks and black agencies swoop in for the property value. Swoop in, fix it up, do what need be done. Get the loans from the black banks. Then we have rich black people investing. Rich and poor black people investing in our shit. If you want to start like that. Because we know how they operate. And the only thing that's keeping us from doing that is ourselves at this point. Start manipulating the fuck out of them. That's just what it is. We don't need to sit here and continue to be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yes, we do. We know what to do. We need to lean into our shit. You afraid to lean into them because you've been allowing them to be disrespected this whole time. Not me dropping the camera. I am not starting this video over. So what we're not going to do is that. I'm not going to start this video over. But yeah, just don't let them be like that. And then, speaking of the streets, right? 21 Savage Drake, Nicki, no. Y'all are mad because the culture don't like you. Y'all are mad. Like, y'all don't know who you're disrespecting when you open your mouth a certain way. I'm not talking to them, but I'm talking to people in general. You don't know who you're disrespecting when you open your mouth a certain way. For example, right, with the LGBTQ community. Because I did say that the attack on black masculinity was not happening. And just to clarify, y'all don't know who you're disrespecting when you open your mouth like that. Let's talk about DaBaby, that DaBaby situation, or why black male celebrities don't talk about the LGBT when y'all 90% sure that they're homophobic. Let me tell you why. In the entertainment industry, there are many gay people behind the scenes, especially the fashion world. Andrew Christian, Givenchy, Beyonce wears Givenchy, Louis, Prada, Gucci, Fendi. A lot of them either are owned by gay people, openly gay people, or they work with an entirely gay or mostly gay workforce. And the ones that don't, the ones that are owned and operated by straight women, because it's mostly women, they're friends. Okay? There's women like Naomi Campbell and Anna Wintour. You know, they are out here working with gay people all the time. Even if you don't know any gay celebrities, RuPaul alone has the connections to shut a motherfucker down. And you're being disrespectful. But to really explain it to you, it's like these fashion companies, they got bosses. If they're owned by gay people, they're the big boss. So they can make a single phone call. Hey, I heard that old boy was talking shit. Cut him off. You think that company is really about to choose a $4 million rapper over $100, $200, $500 million contract? No. And even if it was just that contract, right? That contract probably is also upholding the other artists that label has signed to them, because they don't just sign rappers. This is why your rap icons don't come out and talk shit, because they can get shut down. Even when they're independent. Who's going to work with you? What Met Gala are you going to? What Met Gala? What events are you going to for celebrities? The Grammy committee has a lot of influences in that world. Even if you don't like gay people, even if they don't like gay people, the money speaks better than you do. That's why you don't know who you're disrespecting. So when you're calling out the gay agenda, or this is an agenda, this is an attack on black masculinity, it's not. That's not the case. That's not the case. Because it's just that we stand on who we are. The same way we don't like white people saying the N-word is the same way gay people don't want to hear you being disrespectful. And it's usually always black men that's with they shit. White men, they don't like us too. They don't like us, but they don't be out here doing that shit all the time. You got to bring the situation up with them. So gay people or gay business owners, they find it easier to work with white men, because as long as you don't talk about me being gay, we don't have a problem. But black men, when they see us, like literally see us, and you're homophobic, you just start ranting, and that's your fucking problem. Shut up sometimes. Just that hard. It's just that simple. Shut up. Like, you not even, and then for black men, something y'all need to realize before 2026 is that you number in this community, black community, you number at 1/4, approaching a quarter, or you're already less than a quarter of this community. That means that all the power in this community lies with two groups. Us and women. That's it. You have no power, no motion without us. You're disrespecting black women, you're not going anywhere. You're not getting shit. You're disrespecting gays, who the black women love so much, they love us down. They follow everything we do sometimes. You're not going nowhere. Nowhere without us. This is why when y'all do gay stuff, you get a boost in your ratings. Because the algorithm knows that gay, bisexual, LGBT, those are tags in the algorithm that pushes your content to that audience. So when you do gay shit or you speak on gay things, that stuff pops up in our feed. Because if, especially the ones that live in a gay LGBTQ bubble. Okay? When I say bubble, I mean like the same way you got a sports and Call of Duty and gaming bubble is the same way we got an LGBTQ only bubble. I personally don't have an LGBTQ anything bubble. I'm really not in a bubble, to be real with you. Because I'm listening to conservatives, I'm listening to everybody on the one and the other. I don't care about left versus right. I care about right versus wrong. And the right thing to do here is to tell you that y'all are not under attack. You're just not. You are doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. You're walking away from things that you decided to walk away from. The idea of masculinity that you're trying to find already existed before you. White people taught the world everything they know about this current world. And the age of Aquarius is bringing that to an end. That's what's happening. As an Aquarius myself, let me give you some pointers on Aquarius people, on the energy of Aquarius, which, if you read the Bible, you should know this already. But the energy of Aquarius is about progress. It's about change. It's about letting go of the old to bring in the new. As an Aquarius myself, one thing we don't like is old-fashioned thinking. We don't like that. Okay, history, great. The context of history is to tell what used to be, not what should be, not tomorrow, not 30 years in the future. No, fuck that. Okay? We make history every day. Look, if I rewind time, you're going to see me doing that again. Why? Because it's history. It's history. History is every second that passes. That's history. But y'all don't think like that. Aquarius people, especially Aquarius in this time, where Aquarius is in Pluto right now, in this time we are in our most abstract thinking. And the age that we're living in is where everybody is going to be thinking abstract. Everybody's going to be thinking advanced. Everybody's going to be thinking revolutionary. Everybody's going to be creative. Everybody's going to be creative. Because everybody is in this energy of creation, progress, understanding, letting go, all of that. Aquarius, when we find something that we don't like, we let it go. Completely. Let it go. Because, no. Nope. I don't want that. I'm over here. I'm over here with it. Oh, baby mama drama, Child, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing to talk about. What y'all should be worried about when it comes to black progress is letting go of the white opinion of black progress. Let that shit go. Because if you don't, we're not going anywhere. We're not. I'm hearing black businesses pop up. I'm hearing about all the good stuff that we're doing, but I'm still hearing that white context, and I don't want that anymore. I'm Gen Z, by the way. I'm about to turn 28 next month. I want y'all to understand that this issue is widespread in our elders. And our elders need to let that shit go. Let it go. Oh, black women are so loud and they're no, actually no, because I'm bringing this back to Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray are, let's say, the men of this community. So when you try to oust Pookie and Ray Ray, it's like the gays don't like you, the women don't like you, and you think you're better than me. No, you're going to be instantly abandoned by the community. Because, oh, you don't like Pookie and Ray Ray? I'm out of here. Because they lit. You don't like Pookie and Ray Ray? I'm lit. They lit. I'm leaving. Bye. Like, I'm over there. Because wherever they going, I'm going. Wherever Pookie and Ray Ray going, I'm going. Because they be having fun. Wherever they going to have fun, I'm going to have fun too. Wherever they choose to make a stand is where I'm going to make a stand. Because those are the men of this community. And everybody has this male focus. Black men in 2026, y'all need to start being brave in every aspect. Start being brave. Start being brave. Not disrespectful or hateful, but just being brave. Braver. Especially when it comes to exploring new aspects of your psyche. Please. I'm sick and tired of being a gamer. I'm a hardcore gamer. I've been a gaming is my escape mechanism. So imagine how I feel when I keep seeing black men who only play 2K and fucking Call of Duty. Please play something else. Please play something else. Y'all, like, I want you to do better with your gaming journey. Please, do better. Do fucking better. Because that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, as soon as I see that on your PlayStation, I'm like, you're dumb. You're an idiot. I'm not going to take nothing you say seriously. We can't talk. We can't be friends. We can't nothing because you have no imagination. You're not even exploring what could be possible in these games. You're not. You just here. You just here for the ride. And I don't like that. Again, I'm crazed. I like revolutionary thinking. I like high level thinking. That's low level to me. It is. And it's like, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just a gamer. You know, maybe I'm just a gaming anime nerd that's full of myself. I don't fucking know. Whatever. But I want y'all to really just start to reconsider the white messaging that surrounds us as a people and how we're doing better. Because that quarter zip shit, and there was black people that was like, oh, they're trying to improve the community. This is an improvement. How? Giving up our identity to go back into white survival? No. We fought so hard. To get away from that, and you just like, oh, this is an improvement. What's improving about it? Erasing black identity? I'm sorry. You may not like Pookie and Ray Ray, but that's a black created identity based on who we are. It might have been manufactured by our surroundings, but it is still a story of survival. You may not like the games. You may not like that. The reality of living in that, right? But that's still a black identity. The problem with the gangs is that they're killing each other, not that they unified. That's the problem. The problem is that they're selling drugs and giving these white people an excuse to hate us. That's the problem. But if they wasn't doing that, would we care? That's the question. If they weren't doing that, would we care? And going back to my idea, right? They could start their rap careers on the fucking corner if everybody chilling. You can maximize content. You could. We could maximize content. You could also you could create content companies and just maximize it. Like, come on, y'all. That's what they did with the music industry. They saw us making music, they made companies, and then they hired us to dance and sing for them. And now 360 deals and slavery deals and nobody getting their masters and you don't own shit because white people ain't shit. Can't trust white people as far as you can talk to them. Can't trust white people as long as they ain't your damn business. I'm just saying. And it's just like, I want y'all in 2026 to leave that white expectancy here in 2025 and then bring a love of ourselves into 2026, because this is the halfway point of this decade that is about to end, and the rest of this decade should be used to uplift us harder. I know y'all don't know me or anything like that, but I do plan to start making content just a little bit more than this. And excuse the hair, but it does look a little all over the place. But that's because I got bad head. I'm trying to hide it, but I don't really want to because I don't care like that. Anyway, it's like, I love my people. I love my people. And I want to see my people do better than we've ever done before. We're doing great. And I want that energy to fucking explode. I really do. I want us to expand so far that we can, start our own religion. We need a new religion. One that's tailored to us and how we think. Or a country. Our own country. Why does everybody else have a country and we don't have a country? I mean, America is our country, but I'm tired of fighting with white people over America. They can have it. We'll just go build another one. I'm tired of fighting with white people over America. You want this piece of shit? Here, have it. That's how I feel at this point. Here, have it. You want it? Have it. Have it. It's going down anyway. I'm not building this back up either. It's going down. I'm not building this back up. You better not think you're going to ask me to do all the work again. You going to do this work. You going to do it. Since you want to be up here, white power, white power. Yeah, white power this motherfucking economy. Yeah, white light bulb this motherfucking economy. Because what's your problem? No, seriously, what's your problem? Y'all better call Tesla from the grave. Have him come back. Or Da Vinci. Have him come back and help you. Because I ain't going to help you. But, yeah, 2026, I think it's going to be really great for black people if we can stop that fucking orange maniac. Because we have to acknowledge him every time. And it's sad that people like that really exist in this world. But you notice how they always old? They always old as fuck. And then, right, something that I would suggest, we lower the age about 10 years. To be president, you have to be at least 35 years old. That's too old. Okay? For men, that's right before a midlife crisis. Like literally 1 year before. That's the midlife crisis. The midlife crisis starts at 35 and ends in your 40s. Why the fuck are we hiring old men at the end of their prime and right before they start spiraling out of control? Why? That doesn't make any sense. We're hiring men right before they mentally spiral. And then we think we're going to have a good economy. No. No. They worried about menopause. They sitting here talking about fucking women can't be pregnant because, president. They can't be president because mood swings and periods. And I'm like, what about midlife crisis? Y'all not thinking about that? These niggas are balding in that office. And we sit here like, anyway, shut up. Like, anyway, that's not an issue. Anyway, you still gotta run this goddamn country. Get up and run this country. You fucking slave. Run this motherfucking country. Like, why don't we care about that? We're electing men right before they spiral out of control fucking mentally, and we think we're gonna be good. Every single time. Every time. And keynote, Obama was the same age. Black midlife crisis is not white midlife crisis, but we're not gonna talk about that one either. Just like black menopause is not white menopause, we're not gonna talk about that either. But for my people, yeah. Everything I said in this video is how I truly feel. Well, not everything. Some things were a joke. But and it's just like I'm coming from a place of love for my people. So I don't want nobody taking that and running with it and being like, oh, this is how, I don't fucking know. Y'all be wowing in the comments. I'm going to post this on X and YouTube because fucking Instagram and TikTok are terrible when it comes to long form videos. And this has been like damn near 50 minutes. Look. Yeah. So anyway, follow, like, share, subscribe, whatever. I'm gonna post, I'm gonna link that source from the FBI in the comments, and so y'all can go and look at it yourselves. It is indeed the FBI 2024 statistics that was released this year. Okay? This year. The page literally says August 5th, 2025. So, go read that. Go check it out. Oh, I didn't even mention that 7 rapes in 30 minutes is crazy numbers. That's crazy numbers. That's 14 an hour. That's crazy. 2 murders an hour versus 14. That's stupid. You want to take rights away from 20 million people, over 17,000 a year? Not even 20 million. You want to take away rights for the entire United States for 17,000 people? That's ridiculous. Anyway, love y'all.